Google is everywhere, but most people don't understand exactly why Google feels fast in general, why Gemini feels fast, why every single bit of Google's AI feels fast, why search feels fast, everything. So today I'm going to be explaining exactly what's behind Google's doors and how each specific component of Google's entire AI infrastructure helps with your daily life and the AI you use every single day on your phone. The AI that powers everything, Gemini 3. Most people use Gemini 3 all the time. They use the Gemini overlay. Even I have to admit, I use it all the time. People use Gemini Live, use Google search, and Gemini usually plays a role in the new AI search. But what's behind Gemini? Well, what's behind Gemini is a bunch of chips, lots and lots of different types of chips. There's also data centers, foundational models that are inside Gemini, and also there are the products like Gemini 3, and then there's also the hardware that you interact with. Because it's not always about the software, it's also about the hardware. The hardware is also very important. It's this entire AI infrastructure that makes Gemini and all of Google's AI products feel fast in general. It's because of this that allows everything to be smooth, from live translations to simple questions to even coding. Most people don't code, but yeah, Gemini 3 can code, and very well at that. AI seems to be advancing. Not seems to be, it is advancing. And it's going to be even better in the future. Let's be completely honest. Gemini 3 improves like everything. You could be asking the simple question that you need more context behind it. So Gemini 3 just is like better than Google search. And even with the new AI mode, Gemini 3 is faster because Gemini 3 was built for like AI conversations. You get what I mean? It was built for explaining. AI search is basically just taking the search from the search engine and then they're taking the context and explaining it for you. That's what AI search does. The chip advantage. Google designs their own AI chips, which they call TPUs. Not GPUs, not CPUs, not NPUs, TPUs. TPUs are basically the server side of NPUs. NPUs are on-device AI, but TPUs, this is what powers AI servers like Google Cloud Storage. This is what powers a lot of stuff. Most companies still use GPUs to power their AI. Right now, as of now, Google's like the only real big company that makes TPUs, and it's definitely showing a lot of progress than GPUs, because TPUs are made specifically for handling AI tasks. And unlike GPUs, TPUs handle processing and are very efficient. They handle things way faster than GPUs and they use less power to do it because GPUs weren't built exactly for AI. GPUs are still helpful when it comes to AI image generation, but TPUs are built specifically for image generation and understanding context and all of things like that. So because it's built specifically for it, obviously it's going to need to pull less power than GPUs because it was optimized for that reason. Like the companies are saying these days, TPUs were built for AI from the ground up. From the very first thought to the last product, TPUs were built for AI. And that's not going to change. Now, what about the result? How does this affect us? Obviously, your Google Assistant or Gemini, your apps, your smart devices, they're all going to be faster. And they're going to respond to things faster. They're going to export things faster. Everything's going to be faster because of these TPUs. This helps with multi-step requests and also requests that just involve multiple apps in general. That means AI is going to be able to talk to apps faster, apps are going to be able to talk to each other faster, and therefore everything is going to be smoother and quicker in general instead of what it would be like with GPUs. Image recognition, voice commands, live conversations like with Gemini Live. Everything is faster in general. This is one of the things that a lot of companies seem to lack. Now, there is obviously a lot of companies that are catching up with Google, like chatgpt. ChatGPT's AI actually came before Google's AI, but Google, they just grounded everything. It's almost like they were waiting to unleash this onto the world. Real quick, going off topic, I'd say it's kind of crazy to realize all of this, like Google in general. Just not too long ago, literally in 2024, Google's AI was literally telling people to eat rocks. So the fact that Google came this far in 2 years, enough to put other companies into a panic, yeah, that's a lot of progress in such a short amount of time. But hey, with that progress comes better lives for us in general. I know a lot of people are afraid of, oh, AI is going to take over the world, AI are taking our jobs and stuff like that. But let's be completely honest. Literally, almost, I'm not going to say everybody, almost everybody uses AI for simple things. Gemini can connect to your Google Calendar and add events and stuff like that. That's pretty helpful. Let's talk about the next part of Google's AI infrastructure: data centers, the hidden power. Google builds their own servers and data centers. They build these specifically to power their AI. That means they don't have to rely on another company's servers, another company's data centers, and everything's already in-house. That means they can customize everything to be perfect to optimize their AI. It's kind of the same way how Apple makes their own chips, Apple makes their own batteries, Apple makes their own Wi-Fi modems. Apple makes everything. So because Apple makes everything, everything's going to be much more efficient because they design everything to be specifically powerful to the new product. Now, Google combines this with vertical integration using chips, servers, and data centers. Since they make everything, their AI feels a lot more powerful than other competitors, like OpenAI's ChatGPT. How does this affect us? Well, the way this affects us is that whenever you use an app that uses Google's AI, like let's say Gemini, Google Assistant, Photos, your calendar, which actually has AI now, Gmail, Docs, Slides, everything is faster, smoother, and even more consistent because Google doesn't have to worry about optimizing another company's servers and stuff like that to fit their AI. Like I said before, I've probably said this 3 times already. Everything is perfectly optimized and created for Google's AI. And everything is still consistent even during heavy traffic areas, like when a lot of people are using Gemini at the same time, when a lot of people are using Google Photos AI at the same time. Everything stays consistent no matter how many people are using it, and Google doesn't have to worry about overloading. Foundational models, intelligence at scale. Gemini 3 is one of the foundational models. They train it on massive datasets, improving everything about it, from context awareness, problem solving, and reasoning. The more data, the smarter the AI. So since Google, we're all familiar with Google. Google has access to lots of sites, has access to lots of apps, has access to almost everything on the internet. Almost. So that means they have lots of different websites, they have lots of different games, they have lots of different coding apps and all of that stuff to take data from. And let's be completely honest, Google doesn't really care as much about privacy as companies like Apple do. So that means they'll pull literally anything. For example, do you notice that if you go and search up, let's say, gaming PCs, and then if you go into a certain app, like let's say an app that has those ads on the side, gaming PC ads start showing up on the side of those apps. That's because Google's using your data in AdSense, and whenever a website or company pulls ads, they pull ads specific to you. They're basically selling your data to other companies. This is one of those reasons that Siri is so bad. Because Apple cares so much about privacy, they're not going to pull your data. That means they don't have enough data to really train their AI like Siri, and that's why Siri comes out so bad. And the thing about these foundational models is that they're basically integrated in all of Google's apps, literally all the apps. So every single app is optimized with this AI, making the app smarter in general. It wasn't that long ago when we didn't even have Gemini in Docs. You used to have to write your own emails, or let's say use ChatGPT or go to Gemini and then copy and paste everything. Now Gemini is inside these apps, so it's not just chatbots. Now you can literally open up Gemini inside Google Docs and you don't have to paste anything. You can just ask Gemini to write you a specific part or grammatically fix a certain part of your document. Imagine asking your Google Assistant to summarize emails, to plan your day, to talk about your schedule, and give you advice about where to put things in your schedule. Gemini 3 powers all of this. Google Assistant isn't its own AI, it's Gemini 3. Gemini 3 is everything. It's literally behind most of Google's AI. That's why I said Gemini 3 is the AI that powers everything. Products. AI everywhere you already use. I know I already mentioned this a lot, but I decided to make a specific section for this so you can understand fully. Literally every single Google app basically has Gemini now. Gemini is in everything. It's in search, it's in Gmail, it's in Sheets, it's in Docs, it's in Slides, it's in Maps, it's in YouTube, it's on your Android with Gemini Live and Gemini Overlay. It's on Chrome. Chrome just got Gemini Live and Gemini built in. So now you don't have to go to the Gemini website or pull it up on your phone. It's already inside Chrome with a designated button. So Gemini is everywhere. So that means you don't have to go looking for it. Lots of other companies like Perplexity and OpenAI made their own AI browsers. But Gemini is inside Chrome, and most people use Chrome, let's be completely honest. If you're not a stone hard Apple fan, you're gonna be using Chrome. So the AI is basically not an add-on. It's literally baked into all of the apps you use, literally everything. So this helps with automation, this helps with your workflow, everything. It just helps in general. Hardware, devices that feel smarter. Now, hardware is literally all of your devices. Your Chromebook. I'm not even just going to say your Chromebook. Literally anything that runs Windows, anything that's like a Pixel, like your Pixel phones, anything that's Android in general. The hardware is also very important because, like I said before, it's not just the server side, it's also the hardware side that's very important. Wearables are also included in this hardware list. Gemini 3 is literally baked into Pixel chips. It's literally baked into a lot of Android chips, a lot of Android software. So that means it's not just something you're going on your search engine or your browser and searching up. It's already there inside the code of your device's software and operating system. So this makes your device proactive, and it's going to make it understand what you most likely need even better. So that means it's not pulling something from a server, even though it technically is, but it already has some of the power. Yeah, here's a way to picture it. Some of the power is already inside your device. It's not all on the server side, like let's say if you pull up Gemini on an iPhone. For example, this is one of the reasons why iPhone users are missing out on all of this Google stuff. Sure, they can go into Safari and then search up Google, and then in Google search up Gemini, or they don't even have to do that. They can just go to Safari and search up Gemini. In general, iPhone users don't have this code baked into their device. This is that thing that powers suggestions on your device. Like let's say your text messages, you don't see how there's already suggestions like for what you might respond. Whenever you get a notification, you can see suggestions and you don't even have to open up the app or anything like that. This is powered by your hardware. This also makes your devices be able to predict exactly what you're going to need even before you ask. This also helps with reminders. Giving a couple more examples, your watch might tell you to leave work a little earlier if you can because of heavy traffic. Here's literally what's happening. Your watch detects that you're at work based on your location, and then it's going to pull in maps data and all that stuff, see that there's a lot of heavy traffic, and then a bunch of processing is going to happen in the background, and then that's when it gives you the suggestion. Or let's say your Gmail is drafting a message for you in the background. All of this uses AI, not just on the server side, but also in the hardware side too. So that's Google's entire infrastructure explained. I know I don't usually do videos like this, so if it was a little slightly confusing, bear with me. I'm going to get better at these AI videos, but that's basically everything. You should at least understand exactly how Google's entire AI infrastructure helps you with your daily life and powers your devices, making everything feel smarter and more powerful in general. So that was it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.